Welcome to notebook number 4, selecting subsets of data from a series. So far we've only selected data from a data frame. Now we're going to select data from a series, which is actually a little bit simpler because series have no columns. So the series have the same 3 indexers available, each with their own rules. So you have just the brackets, loc and iloc, and we'll cover all of them. Let's go ahead and get started over here. And this time we'll read in this movie data frame. And what we need to do first is select a series so that we can actually start selecting from it. And what we'll do is select this last column, IMDb score, and we'll assign it to this variable IMDb. So here are the first 3 values. Now, just the brackets. Now remember, with a data frame, just the brackets, I showed you how to select a single column like this, or multiple columns using a list. So series don't have columns, but interestingly enough, just the brackets does work and does select. So let's say so here are the values over here. I can put in a label like Spectre and it will return a value. That's great. But it also works with an integer, and this will give me the whatever movie is at that location. So while you might think this is advantageous, I find it to be a little hazardous because you don't know right off the bat if you're selecting by label or integer location. The rules are a little bit ambiguous. So I like to be explicit and only use loc and iloc when selecting data from a series. So I don't really use just the brackets like this. Okay. So let's move down, and now we're going to go through examples of loc and iloc. And just going back up for a second, one of the other reasons is that you can have integers as the index value. So you're not always going to have strings, so it's not always apparent that 100 will select by integer location, or will it select the label 100, which could be at some other location other than the 100th integer location. So you're not... so the rules over here, it's just a little ambiguous, and that's why I like to be certain and use loc and iloc. So when I use loc, I'm certain I'm selecting by label. When I use iloc, then I'm certain I'm selecting with integer location. So this is explicit. This is just ambiguous. So that's why I choose these over here. All right, so let's go ahead and see some examples. So IMDb, and we're going to start off with loc over here. So this is by label, so I know that if I type in a movie, such as Home Alone, it will get it like that. If I try to use integer location here, it's going to say, oh, I don't see this label. This is a key error, and so that won't work. All right, so you can also use a list of labels. So that was a single label, a list of labels. So we'll just do Home Alone and Tangled. So it'll return a series here if you use a list. A single one returned a scalar value, so that's important to know. And then, of course, you can slice. So we can go from Home Alone to Tangled, and it must be the other way around. So Tangled might come before Home Alone. So we can go ahead and change their order. That's why there was nothing there. And there we go. So Tangled did come first, and then Home Alone over here. So remember, with loc, it is inclusive of the last one. We can, of course, add a step size like that. So every 20th movie from Tangled through Home Alone. And then we'll cover a Boolean series label. So that's a single label, a list of labels, a slice of labels, and a Boolean series is what you can pass over here into loc. All right, so let's go to iloc. And it works just like with data frames. You have to give it some sort of integer location. So here we go again, IMDb. Let's look at some examples. So a single integer, say the 9 at position 900 has that score. You can use negative numbers, so the very last movie has this score. You can use a list of locations. They don't have to be in the right order. There we go. I did 100, so it actually selected this one twice. So that's actually possible. So this was a mistake. I meant to do 1,000, but yes, you can select the same item twice, and that's what I did. I meant to do this. And then, of course, you can do slices. So we can do 50 to 100 by 5 or something like that. and get this. All right, so that's how you select subsets with a series using iLoc. Okay, so here's the full summary for series selection. You do have the three indexers available, just like you do with a data frame. I just suggest not using the brackets. So the loc indexer selects by a single label, a list of labels, a slice of labels, or a Boolean series. The iLoc, that's what should say iLoc, selects by a single integer location, a list of integers, or a slice of integers. And there are no columns, so selection is only based on the index. Yeah, so we don't have to worry about like rows, columns here. It is just, index based.